Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 is really starting to piss me off. So let's get into it. Episode 5 opens in Tokyo, 1990, where we see a young Hiroshi on the phone, lulling Kate to sleep. And then we realize he's at the hospital, and Kentaro is being born. And right away, the episode is setting up something important: family, legacy, and identity. Kentaro's mother suggests naming the baby William, after Hiroshi's father, but Hiroshi immediately corrects her. And unless I miss something, that's a straight up lie. But we cut back to the present, right where we left off. Hiroshi has just found Keiko's letter to Shaw, and man, you can feel it immediately. He's calm, but he's not calm. So he storms off, and Keiko chases him, trying to explain, but Hiroshi wants none of it. He tries to bury it, saying they don't have time for this, but Keiko pushes. He asks to see the letter, and Hiroshi, still composed on the surface, hands it back. And he says coldly, oh yeah, he's pissed. And when Keiko tries to explain, saying it was just a one-time mistake, Hiroshi goes off. And then he starts quoting it.
I love you, Lee.
Stop.
I always will.
Stop.
In another lifetime, we could be together. You okay?
I know what it says.
So did Bill Randa.
That whole sequence is brutal. And what makes it hit harder is what Hiroshi thinks he's finally figured out. He believed Bill Randa saw that letter, and that's what drove him away. But the show doesn't actually confirm that. In fact, Keiko pushes back on it, and knowing Bill's character, it doesn't fully line up. But to Hiroshi, that explanation makes sense, because for his entire life, he thought it was his fault, that he wasn't enough, that Bill didn't love him because he wasn't his real son. And now, even if he might be wrong, he finally has something to hold on to, something that tells him, it wasn't me. And that right there is the emotional core of this episode. We get a really strong follow-up scene between Hiroshi and Shaw, and this might be one of my favorite conversations in the entire show, because Shaw doesn't deflect, he doesn't get defensive, he meets Hiroshi where he's at. He tells him, you have every right to be angry, but he also pushes him forward, tells him to stop living in the past, to build something for himself. And then he hits him with this line.
You got your mother back, hero. You did that. Do you really want to push her away now? Because if you do, you're blowing off the opportunity to discover one of the most fascinating and fearless and unique people alive. All because you're mad that a long time ago she just happened to fall in love with two men. I'd expect you of all people might know a little something about that.
Basically calling Hiroshi out for his hypocrisy. That whole exchange is mature, it's grounded, and it's real. And it leads into something the show doesn't always do well: resolution. Because when Keiko finally explains herself and Hiroshi opens up, we get closure, real closure. Hiroshi admits that when he read the letter, he was angry. But also in a weird way, he says it's freeing. That's heartbreaking. By the end of the conversation, you feel like something has finally healed. And that's exactly why what happens next, it's so hard. Because Hiroshi's death is the emotional peak of the series so far. And I'm not even gonna lie, this one got me. The way they mirror the lullaby from the beginning of the episode to the end as Keiko sings to him while he's dying. And Kate joins in, realizing it's the same song he used to sing to her. Man, this one hurt, and what makes it even more tragic is that Hiroshi finally got closure. He finally understood the truth. He finally made peace. And then he's gone. And here's the thing. This was an earned death. It was powerful, well-written, tragic, but at the same time, it pisses me off. because once again, this show kills off one of its best characters, and now he's just gone. We don't get more time with him, we don't get to see what comes next, and that sucks. It's like a sick joke. Every time we get attached to a good character in the Monsterverse, they vanish. Now let's talk about the other side of this episode, because this is where my frustration starts to kick in. Kate is once again the weakest part of the show. And I'm trying. I really am. But the whole drawn to the Titan thing, it's not working for me. She walks towards Titan X like she's hypnotized. We get this slow, dramatic stare down like it's supposed to be deep. I'm just sitting there like, why are we doing this again? And the worst part, this moment directly leads to Hiroshi getting killed. So now, instead of it feeling profound, it just feels annoying. But then you've got Mei, who is fully bought into Apex. And I'm sorry, this is exactly what we all saw coming. The plan is clearly half-baked, it's rushed, it's shady, and she still commits to it. It's arrogant, it's naive, and honestly, it just makes her character hard to like. And then there's the Kaiju side of things, which at this point is genuinely becoming a problem. Because this is a good story, but a bad kaiju show. We get build-up, we get tension, we get teases, and then nothing. No real fights, no real payoff, just more setup, more bait, more almost. And halfway through season 2, we haven't gotten a single real monster fight. That's insane. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still invested, the story is strong, the emotional moments have hit, the themes are there, but the execution, especially on the kaiju side, has gone from frustrating to just disappointing. That being said, the episode still works because at its core, it delivers one of the most powerful moments in the entire series. Hiroshi's story, his pain, his closure, and now his death. And that's what carries this episode. And it carries it hard. But moving forward, the show needs to start delivering on what it's building. Because the setup is there, the potential is there, now we need payoff. So episode 6 opens with a flashback on Skull Island. We see Kentaro, who is sketching Kong, but Kong notices him, and he's clearly weary of the spectator. But Kentaro is soon scared away by Kong's mighty roar. We then transition into a quieter scene between Hiroshi and Kentaro. They share a drink, talk about Kate, and talk about survival. And during this, Hiroshi brings up the time he spent in Axis Mundi. We already know about the time dilation, but for Kentaro, this is him finally hearing it from his dad. And the focus here isn't the science, it's what that time meant. Because Hiroshi explains that even though he lost a year down there, the time he spent with Kentaro after made up for it. Just a father telling his son that time together mattered. And knowing what happens later, yeah, that hits. We cut to Hiroshi's funeral, and this is where the episode should slow down and let the emotion breathe, because Kentaro is pissed, and he should be. So am I. Kate tries to apologize, but he's not hearing it. And for once, the show actually lets that tension sit. We get some setup with Shaw and Suzuki, and this is where the episode pulls me back in, the mystery of the rift. It's an eerie concept, and that's what this show should be leaning into. But then we start cutting again. Back, forth, like, bro, pick a scene. Let something play out. Every time something starts building, cut. Every time something gets interesting again, cut again. This has been a reoccurring problem throughout the show. There's too many things going on, too many storylines, and too many characters to follow. And then we get stuck with Mei and Kentaro. I'm gonna be real. This feels like filler, like we're just killing time at this point. Mei's sitting there complimenting Kentaro, and Kentaro takes it the wrong way and tries to kiss her, but gets rejected. So then Kentaro hits her with this line.
I'm the wrong Randa.
That's weird.
You prefer my sister, no?
Kentaro.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she didn't want you after all.
Bro, what? Where did that come from? That was the most randomly scandalous line in this episode. Or maybe the entire show. Man went from sad boy to instigator real quick. And then we move on like nothing happened. Now let's talk about Kate. because this is where I start losing patience. This whole connection she has with Titan X, it doesn't feel earned. It just feels like something the plot needs her to have. And instead of adding any kind of depth, it just makes everything around her feel forced. But none of that compares to what this episode does next. Because this is where I completely lose it. We get the Titan alert. Godzilla in Tokyo Bay. The music builds. The fighter jets engage Godzilla. The tension is there. And for the first time, it feels like we're finally about to get what we've been waiting for. Godzilla versus Titan X. A real fight. A real payoff. And then, right before it starts, Kentaro wakes up. It's a dream? No. What the actual fuck are we doing here? You build all that hype just to go, JK, that's not clever, that's not submersive, that's not slow burn, that is bullshit. I'm sitting here finally locked in like, oh, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. And you rip it away. For a dream? Bro, I wanted to throw something. This isn't the first time they've done this. Tease, build, cut away. Tease, build, cut away. But this is the worst offender because now it's just not frustrating. It's disrespectful. We are over halfway through this season and we still haven't had one real monster fight. And when you finally give us the setup, you turn it into a dream. At this point, I gotta say it. This is a good story, but a terrible kaiju show. And what makes it worse is what should have happened. That moment where Godzilla's tail is about to come down and wipe out Kate, May, and Kentaro, that shouldn't have been a dream. That should have been real. Kill them. Commit. Give us stakes. Give us consequences. Give us something. Because right now, these characters are not carrying the story. They're dragging it down. And losing Hiroshi just makes that painfully obvious. I'm bringing it back in because this episode didn't have nothing going for it. The ending with Shaw, the rift, that signal, that was good because now we're asking real questions, and that is the kind of mystery the show needs. But one strong cliffhanger doesn't erase everything that came before it. Because at the end of the day, episode 6 is a grave disappointment, an underwhelming, cheap cop-out. And if the show doesn't start delivering soon, it's going to lose the very thing that's been keeping it alive. So after 6 episodes of this show, I am sick and tired of these fucking writers, producers, and anybody else who is involved in the process of making the decision to keep Kaiju Battle blue-balling us to the maximum. Okay, this is a shit kaiju show. Yeah, it has some awesome elements. It's an intriguing story, but they completely forgot monsters, kaijus, or titans, or whatever the fuck we're calling it in this universe. The point is, they're jerking us off with these small scenes of titans appearing here and there, but in the end, what happens? Absolutely nothing. Tell me one thing of major consequence besides cheap-ass Hiroshi dying. I'm beyond myself with these kaiju shows. Whether it's Toho and their animes, whether it's Legendary now with this live-action show, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to write a script. Throw it in the garbage and let the fans do something. But oh no, they're gonna copyright strike every little thing that you put up on YouTube. We're turning this into a whole different rant now. But you know what? Fuck this show. It pissed me off. It pissed you guys off. And I don't know what more we can do as a community to communicate to these people what we want out of these shows and movies. It's not difficult. Give us a good story. Yes, I love that. But also give me sick, awesome kaiju battles. It's not hard. They messed it up in a fucking anime, for God's sake. It's anime. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us here at Kaiju Motherfucking Senki, and we'll see you next time for this continued bullshit-ass Monarch review and retrospective.